get started here. This meeting's called to order. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Directors of the Vallecitos Water District for Wednesday, October 5th, 2022 at 5 p.m. at the district office. Next, could I ask Director Hernandez to lead us in the pledge?
Yes. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, next is roll call. And we're all four directors are present. Director Pennick is absent today. Okay, next is additions to the agenda. Seeing none, we'll move on to adoption of this regular meeting agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Been moved by Director Boyd Hodgson to move the agenda, seconded by Director Sonola. Please vote. And it carries unanimously. Next is public comment. Persons wishing to address a matter not on the agenda may be heard at this time. However, no action will be taken until the matter is placed on a future agenda in accordance with board policy. I don't think I see anyone here for public comment, so we'll move on to presentations.
I'll take that, President Delatharp. So I'm going to ask Lisa Urabe to come up to the front here. So every year we sponsor a landscape contest, and tonight we're fortunate enough to have two of our winners. Our first place winner, I believe, is not able to attend tonight. Is that right, Lisa? But I believe we do have our second and third place winners. And in addition to presenting and recognizing the winners, you're going to get a chance to see a video that was put together. And as always, the video is of spectacular quality. So did you want to show the video first, or?
Not yet.
Okay. I'll turn it over to Lisa.
President Delatharp and members of the board, being a garden and water conservation nerd, this is my favorite time of the year, so I get very excited about the Water Smart Landscape Contest. We have the winners, some of the winners with us here tonight, and each of them has created a garden that's not only beautiful, but is also sustainable. It's good for the environment. It saves water, which is so important right now, especially with what we're experiencing with the dry conditions. So we're very excited to show you the winners' gardens. The silver lining of the pandemic, what we saw is that we got a really big uptick in people that were interested in gardening. All those projects that people had that were kind of on the back burner for their yards, well, all of a sudden people had all this time at home, and it was like, hey, we're going to start this garden. So we started in water conservation. We would get a lot more calls. We'd get requests for information about things that people can do to make their yards more drought tolerant and beautiful. And these winners tonight have done just that. They've done a lot of research. In fact, you'll hear about Stephanie and all of the YouTube videos that she watched to make her garden. So we saw a lot more increase in the videos and people going that route as well. And with the increase in gardening, it really is helping families to connect. You know, during the pandemic, it was a safe space. They could go outside, wave hello to neighbors. It really brought that sense of family and community. Our very own Alicia Yerman, who's our public information representative, she took a lot of video footage, all these different clips, and weaved it together into this beautiful storytelling of just how our winners used this contest and used their gardens to bring them closer to family, as well as creating their beautiful gardens. So without further ado, Jonathan.
name is Tanya Lopez, and I've been a resident of San Marcos for about 4 years. I heard about the Vallecitos Water Smart contest from a brochure in the mail. I just kind of opened it and then just saw that they had this contest, and I thought, hey, I have to redo my yard, so might as well be able to get the project done in time and enter the contest. We decided to change our landscape. It was kind of just all bare, dirt, kind of rocks. My husband and I pretty much took a whole day to do the front part. For irrigation, I don't have any irrigation. It's basically just watering when I can, which is not very often. I've been here since March and everything's thrived pretty well. It's rewarding to do it yourself. I mean, I've had people walk by and they've said, oh wow, your yard looks pretty good. So that's always rewarding and fulfilling. My favorite features are probably the agave and the golden barrels. They don't need a lot of maintenance. You just plant them and they pretty much just grow on their own. My inspiration just from like videos on YouTube, people on Instagram. It's good to see people's ideas and just to kind of take it and make it our own. For us, I mean, water conservation is very important. Everything's really expensive now, so just to be able to save a few dollars here and there every month is very beneficial. Where California is in a drought all the time, so being able to save water and using it for other things is always a good thing.
Person to save water for the earth. She watered the plants and helped them.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I've been living in San Marcos for 18 years. We are a family of 4, me, my husband, and our 2 daughters. The reason why I decided to change our landscape is because I have been always obsessed with succulent. I wanted to create something that I like, enjoy, and also benefit the environment. During the pandemic, I started to grow and propagate succulent. I also did succulent arrangement in small parts. So one day, a crazy idea came to me that I wanted to make my next project go big by converting our water-consuming landscape into water-conserving succulent garden. Luckily, my idea got supported by my family. It took us almost 4 months to complete this project.
We didn't take any specific classes, but my mom had a gardening YouTuber that she really liked called Laura Eubanks. We would all watch her videos together as a family during lunch and talk about it and brainstorm ideas of our own for our garden. I thought the videos were actually super helpful because it not only taught us how to properly design a garden, but also how to properly care for our succulents so that they grow healthily and beautifully. Favorite features of the garden is that it's like a garden of sharing. When my mom first started her collection a few years ago, a lot of her friends gave her little baby succulents to start out, and she eventually propagated it into this entire garden that we see today. The thing that we found was that the more that we gave away, the more meaningful our own garden actually became. So this is a succulent arrangement that my mom likes to make. She makes a lot of these in her free time, and she would just take elements from our garden and then assemble them together in little pots. She really likes to make them for a lot of occasions, such as Christmas or any other holiday for friends and family.
Hi, my name is Davis. I'm a proud owner of homes in San Marcos, and I love the Vallecitos Water District. Starting from when my daughter was young, she won the art contest. Now my wife has won the Water Smart contest. On this project, we actually leveraged 2 very important programs. One of them is the SoCal turf replacement rebate program, and the second one is the Best Vallecitos Water Smart landscape contest. Because of these 2 programs, it really encourages us and gave us a lot of incentive to complete this project. We brought the family together to work on the project together, as well as saving water. Overall, it's a great experience, and I encourage everybody to give it a try. Not only do you get a nice garden out of it, you get a good workout, and you're doing a good job saving water for the earth. We actually use a water dripping system. It's not easy to see, and we cover the entire soil with rocks, and also we plant all the succulents nearby the big boulders, and we found that to be most effective. So we cover the ground with small rocks, and that really preserves the water and keep the whole garden cool.
California has long been known for its drought that has drastically affected many of our lives. A lot of us often overlook the importance of water. However, each and every drop of it is an essential part of life because we use it in cooking, cleaning, hygiene, etc. To combat the insufficient amount of water, we as a community must learn how to start reducing our water usage as well as preserving our water supply. Not only are we helping alleviate the drought, we are also helping the future generations to come.
If you are like me, wanted to transform your existing landscape into drought-tolerant garden, this idea may be a little bit overwhelming at first, but please don't be afraid. Just act on it one step at a time, and you are figuring out that your dream garden is slowly coming to life. I would recommend all of you to participate in Vallecitos Water District Water Smart Landscape Contest because it is a great motivator for you to achieve your goal. It is also a good opportunity to show off your final project.
I'm John Delaplane, and we've lived here for about 7 years now, and a Vallecitos Water District customer for that entire time, and they've been really great. Part of the whole project started by just seeing the Water District's display out front, and that was kind of what got the gears turning for this. Hopefully this allows other people to learn more about doing a project themselves. My dad and I worked together for about 12 years, and when COVID came around, it was the right time for my dad to retire and for me to go a different direction and work in a different sector, and kind of left the void between us with different projects and having time together. And so this was something that we could reconnect and do something that we were familiar with and really enjoyed, and just brought back a lot of those memories that we had together, and just kind of teach my daughter lessons that you can do on your own and see grandpa do work and see dad do work and just kind of bring it together as a family. So one of the catalysts that both Chris and Lisa told us about is that you get a rebate if you do this and if you remove your turf. And also if you change your sprinklers to a different system that is much more water friendly. And that does help with the cost. I would say that if you were very frugal about it, you could almost cover your cost with the rebates and the discounts if you did the labor yourself. If you pay to have someone come out and you maybe add some extra plants or get an upgrade in your rock or something else, then that increases the cost. For us, I would say that it covered about half of the cost to do what we did. That was also because we really enjoyed doing the work and just added more to it as we went.
Hardest of all the jobs, and that's to get rid of your grass. We had an excavator come in with Bart's Bobcat surface, and I believe he's in Vista. Came in here at 9 o'clock. By noon he was done. He carted it up. That included the dump fee.
And that's part of the reason why we decided to have the turf removed professionally, because we didn't have a way to transport the grass once it was removed. If you like some of the plants that you see here, some more than others, they all came from the same place, and I really recommend that if you have time, you take a moment to go over to Buena Creek Nursery. There's a really nice lady there that you can tell it's her passion to grow plants, and she guided us with what to do and where plants should go. She's wonderful. You're kind of helping this local small guy, and it just feels good all around. Look up her place, Buena Creek Nursery, if you're getting interested in this, and she'll give you some tips and pointers too. She's a wonderful person, and if you get a chance, go meet her. If I was to give some advice and things that I would do differently from doing most of it by hand, is I would really check your soil and check your grass ahead of time, and maybe dig down a certain amount as a test, maybe in a corner or something, because for our particular case we had a lot of roots and it made it very difficult to dig, and the soil here is filled with clay. That also made it difficult to dig. Looking back, I think I would have had maybe some topsoil brought in that would have made it a little bit easier to dig with and had a little bit more removed, and then had an easier layer to dig and brought in. So part of the process of learning about this project and what to do is you really want to have different layers that go into your new landscape. These plants really do a lot better in a porous environment where the water can essentially go down into the ground instead of pooling there. It was particularly difficult with our setup because there's clay and clay pools water. And basically my understanding is when the water pools with some of these succulents and plants, they can rot. Even just a little bit of pooling water can rot them. What you really want to do is have different layers. And so part of that process is setting up the right layers and the right irrigation so that they get that directional water flow that you're looking for. So what we did was we went down deep enough, and then we started with about 4 inches, and we started with a cloth weed cover, and that's essentially going to prevent any sunlight from coming in and letting things grow up out of it, and that keeps your weeds down. And so then the next layer after that was the base rock. And so that is just a cheaper rock that is very porous for the water to go through. Then we started putting out our irrigation. Then you plant your plants. Then you put on your top rock, which is more of your cactus mulch to go into the hole of the plant. And you want to make sure you dig deep enough so that there's enough porous area for those plants to grow. And you really want to make sure that you're not emitting too much water. That's a whole big part of the reason that you're switching from turf to this type of landscape, is to cut down on your water use. And when you're having a drip line, that's a very fine amount of water that's coming out, so you can run it for longer periods of time. It's better for the plants if it comes out over an extended period of time instead of more like when you water your lawn for 15 minutes with a burst of water. So growing up, my dad taught me about being environmentally conscious when we can. Everybody does their little part. It really does add up. We live in essentially a desert, and so grass requires so much water that it really makes a lot of sense to switch to something like this. And a big reason that we did it is, besides doing the project together, is to teach these lessons to my daughter so that she grows up with that same mindset. Just if a neighbor comes by and you can tell them about it and you can get the word out. Because just every little bit of difference does make it in the long run. And hopefully my daughters can grow up with that mindset too, just like he taught me.
Hi, my name's Lisa Urabi, and I volunteer as a UCCE Master Gardener, and I also work for Vallecitos Water District in the Water Conservation Department. I came out to this landscape while it was being dug up and helped the customers, give them some suggestions on things that they can do. It really turned out nice, and really proud of the efforts that they did. The thing that really threw this landscape into first place for us as judges was that they put a lot of time into installing a bioswale, which you can see behind me. Some people will just put rocks down and make it a pretty dry riverbed, but this is actually a working bioswale, and what that means is that the rainwater that comes off the roof goes down the rain gutter and goes through this bioswale. Bioswale does several really important things. One is, the most important, is it keeps stormwater pollutants out of the storm drain. Every time it rains, when water runs off your property, it's picking up dirt and it's picking up the powder that comes off your brakes, might be motor oil drips, anything like that, even pesticides or herbicides, things like that, if you've used them, all gets flushed away and it goes into the storm drain, which goes to our local creeks and lakes and eventually to the ocean. And it can cause a lot of pollution, and it's a real issue. So by installing a bioswale, it is collecting all that water and it's not running into the storm drain. The other real benefit of it is that it is helping to water these plants naturally. What it does is the water is soaking into the ground and it's creating a reserve deep in the soil. So 4 months from now, that tree behind me can dig its roots down and get access to that water without requiring supplemental irrigation sometimes. Bioswales are really a great thing to think about in your personal landscape. We highly recommend them, and that is what pushed this landscape into #1 for us, the beauty of the landscape and the bioswale. Excuse me?
I said, very nice, as usual.
Oh, thank you. That's Alicia. We are very happy to have her working here. So that's quite a talent. Okay, I would like to invite up our third place winner, Tanya Lopez. There's a little goodie bag. And your sign. And just gift card to Green Thumb Nursery. Would you like to say any words?
I guess maybe just thank you for this opportunity. I mean, it was really a fun time for me and my family. I think, like how Lisa said, I was just kind of remembering we were like always just outside in our front yard, and we would see like people come by and they would stop and ask us like, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" And it looks good. So that was a good experience. So thank you guys.
Well, I was encouraged to see that everybody did most of the work themselves. That was really great to see. So congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. All right, second place winner, Stephanie Chen, and your daughters can come up too if you like. Good bag, and your sign. And I know you're wanting that gift card. Would you like to say any words or no?
Thank you very much, Vallecitos Water District, that you guys make my dream come true. I met my long-term idol, Laura Eubank. I'm so excited. I cannot forget the moment. Yeah, thank you very
Well,
much.
thank you. Congratulations.
Right, and unfortunately, our first place winner could not be here. It's John and Jay Delaplane, the father and son duo that created their bioswale and yard. But they did win the first place prize, so we'll make sure they get their prizes.
Well, good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And Lisa, can we get pictures with
Oh, yes.
all the
Oh,
winners?
that's right, yes.
And board, if you can maybe come down?
Sure.
You want to hold up your sign?
We'll take pictures. We'll get you copies.
Do you want to read it?
No, I don't. Do you want me to? Sure. Take a couple, so 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you all. Congratulations to Lisa, and Lisa can get them to you.
That was so inspiring. I have bragged that I am a member of the Brown Lawn Club because we've turned off of our irrigation, and it's really inspiring to watch the different designs come together, and it's encouraging that maybe I could even do the work myself. So, thank you.
Great job.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to consent calendar.
Move to approve tonight's consent calendar.
Second.
Been moved by Director Sinella, seconded by Director Hernandez to move the consent calendar. Please vote. And it carries unanimously. Thank you. Okay, moving on to our one lone item, a public hearing and consider adopting resolutions of necessity for the acquisition of easement interests in number 1, assessor's parcel number 228-360-43, and 2, assessor parcel numbers 228-370-38 and 228-370-04 for the Montiel Lift Station and Force Main Replacement Project in San Marcos. Okay, in order to provide time for the district to continue property discussions with the owner, staff recommends this item be continued to the regular board meeting scheduled for Wednesday, October 19th, 2022. And do we need a vote to continue? Okay, so I'll looking for a motion to
Move to approve staff's recommendation to continue this item, 2.1.
Second.
It's been moved by Director Sinella, seconded by Director Hernandez to continue this item to the October 19th board meeting. Please vote.
Can we have discussion?
Sure, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Just yet. Can you clear my vote, please? Just for the benefit of the public and for my benefit, can you explain the advantages and disadvantages of continuing versus taking the vote now? Or I guess the question is why would we continue, or why wouldn't we continue?
Yeah, so the reason we're continuing it is because we're making good progress with the property owners, and we're hopeful that we don't have to move forward with any kind of action to acquire the properties through eminent domain action. So we think we're making good progress. We think we will hopefully have the issues resolved before the October 19th meeting, and it may not come back to you at all if we're successful in the property acquisitions.
All right, thank you.
All right, with that, if there's no other discussion, please vote.
I don't have a voting option.
I think we ran past it.
Yeah, I think we already did it, didn't we? Yeah.
It's,
All my lights are blinking too, which seems unusual to me.
I only have 2 lights blinking.
are your lights still blinking?
Yep.
Doing a roll vote, sir.
Okay,
So on the motion of Director Sanella, seconded by Director Hernandez, to continue item 2.1 to the October 19th regular meeting, Director Elithar, or sorry, President Elithar, how do you vote?
yes.
Director Boyd Hodgson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Director Hernandez? How do you
Yes.
vote? Director Sanella?
Yes.
Motion passes with all board members present voting yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Okay, that's our lone action item, so we'll move on to reports.
Hey, Jim, over here.
General Manager's report.
Thank you, President Elithar. Just one item, just want to let the board know that we do have some night work being performed tonight. We're replacing a water valve at the intersection of San Marcos Boulevard and Discovery Street. It's in conjunction with the city's Discovery Street project, and it's in coordination with the city and in compliance with their traffic control plan. So just want you to know that we'll be out there. The work will start after 10 o'clock and will be done long before traffic picks up in the morning. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Next, District Legal Counsel.
No report.
Okay. With that, we'll move on to San Diego County Water Authority. The Water Authority had their regular September board meeting on the 22nd of September. The board authorized award of several routine service contracts. The main item that the board acted on was election of new board officers for the 2-year period starting October 1st. The board elected Mel Katz as chair of the board. He represents the city of Del Mar. Nick Serrano was voted in as vice chair representing the city of San Diego, and Frank Hilliker representing Lakeside Water District was voted in as secretary of the board. With that, we'll move on to Encino Wastewater Authority.
I don't think I've participated in any Encino meetings since our last meeting to update.
Okay.
Neither have I.
All right. Moving on to standing committees. Any standing committees?
You got an update on Hilltop?
Oh, yeah. We had a very nice meeting with Hilltop. With our consultant, Rick Giddings. We have received the geological report. Good news is there's nothing that were any big red flags. We were going to find out from the city's zoning update what the density could be, but it never took place. The city's pushed that forward. So we have decided to wait until we know what's going on relative to the density, and then we will ask the 2 developers that have made presentations to come back to the committee, make presentations, and from there we will bring those 2 developers back to make a full presentation to the board with a recommendation as to what we think is the best road to travel. And that's certainly going to be at least 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, and we also asked Glenn and staff to make to provide an update to the full board. I don't think tonight though, but at the next board meeting.
Yeah, I still have to coordinate with Rick. We're hoping to actually have the next ad hoc committee meeting before we provide the update to the board.
Yes.
And we're trying to coordinate with the two presenters on their schedules. It's being a little bit problematic, but we'll get there.
Okay. Moving on to directors' reports on meetings, conferences, and seminars attended.
The P3 committee also met.
I'm sorry.
No worries. So the P3 committee also met, and we will be taking up different resolutions as prioritized by staff for discussion and recommendation, and then we will bring them to the full board. Secondly, we had a discussion about community giving back service type functions that the board and Vallecitos could potentially perform, and Director Pennock has voluntold to lead that effort. So he will be, no, I think he's very excited about it. We tossed around several different organizations that we might consider working with and opportunities that we might consider doing. We will bring it to the full board, so if you have organizations that you've partnered with in the past that are water oriented or environmental oriented, then please let us know, and we can think about how we could maybe do a beach cleanup or a city cleanup or something like that that would be completely voluntary, but it's an idea that we thought might might bring people together and give back to the community.
Great, thank you. Okay, now we'll move on to directors' reports on meetings, conferences, and seminars attended. Anything?
Nothing
Okay,
here.
Moving on right along, directors' comments and future agenda items.
Just a quick question for Glenn. Any updates or progress on South Lake?
Yeah, we are scheduled to bring the South Lake Agreement to our board at our next meeting on October 19th. The city has indicated that they want to sign second. They want us as property owner to sign first, so they will be scheduling it at a city council meeting subsequent to our October 19th meeting date. They haven't picked an exact date yet, but it'll be sometime after October 19th.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, if we have no other director comments, this meeting is adjourned. Do we need a few minutes, or should we go right into?
Yeah, I think you could make, you could probably make the announcement that we're ready to move into closed session, and then Jonathan and Anthony can do
Do we need a
whatever.
motion to go to closed session?
Probably. Yeah.
We need to open closed session, you need to open a special meeting.
Yeah, you have the regular,
Oh, I got you.
yeah.
Okay. Meeting is called to order. It's the closed session meeting of the Board of Directors of the Vallecitos Water District, Wednesday, October 5th, 2022, immediately following the regular meeting at the district office. In addition, there's a teleconference location. Director Pennock will be teleconferencing pursuant to Government Code Section 54953 from the following location: 5447 English Elm Court, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89031. The public may participate in the meeting from either of the above locations.
And I did confirm with Director Pennock that he did post the notice at the location that he's participating from.
Okay, next is roll call. Is-
President Elithar,
Here.
Director Pennock,
Here.
Director Boyd Hodgson, Director Hernandez,
Here.
and Director Sinella.
Here.
Okay, all 5 directors are in attendance for this closed session. Okay, next is additions to the agenda. I've received none, so we'll move on to adoption of the agenda for this closed session meeting.
Move to approve the agenda?
Second?
It's been moved by Director Sinella, seconded by Director Hernandez to adopt this closed session meeting agenda. Please vote.
On the motion of Director Sinella, seconded by Director Hernandez to adopt the agenda for the closed session meeting, President Elithar, how do you vote?
Yes.
Director Pennock,
Yes.
Director Boyd Hodgson,
Yes.
Director Hernandez,
Yes.
Director Sinella.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next is public comment. Seeing no public, we'll move on to a motion to adjourn to closed session.
Move to adjourn to closed session?
Second?
Been moved by Director Hernandez, seconded by Director Boyd Hodgson to adjourn to closed session. Please vote. Roll call. Go ahead.
President Elithar,
Yes.
Director Penny,
Yes.
Director Boyd Hodgson,
Yes.
Director Hernandez,
Yes.
Director Sinella.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.